All right, hello, welcome back. We are doing a video today on Oracle P6 Professional Project Management. Back in the day, this software used to be called SureTrack. Oracle bought them out years ago, and for old school construction guys, SureTrack was the way to go. And it still is, but we call it P6 now. So wanted to go over just a little bit about the software and just so you're familiar with it. More of an introductory video than anything. I'll have some other videos, obviously, that will show how to create jobs and activities and relationships and all kinds of good stuff. So to start off with, if you've already downloaded it and hopefully you have, then you're at this point where, okay, where do I get started? One thing with P6, and I've never quite understood this through the years, is when you install it, it doesn't put a icon on your desktop. So I'm going to switch over to my screen here, and we can go down to the Windows, and I just simply type in P6. Okay, now when you do that, you'll notice it pulls up a couple of other P6 options here that you do not want to choose on or select. So one of them is P6 Professional Standalone Database Migration Tool. Another is a visualization tool. Another one is a visualizer. So there's a couple of options that we don't want. What we do want is the one that says P6 Professional 21, and this one says 64. So this is like a difference between 32 and 64, which most computers are all 64s now. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're just going to click on it to open it, and it should pull you to a page where you need to actually load in your information, and so your username and password, and you can type that little guy in there and open up P6. Now, when this opens, this is what I always do. I'll go down here to my to the menu here at the bottom, my little pop-up menu, and I'm going to right-click on P6, and then, of course, mine is already pinned, but yours may say Pin to Taskbar, and that's what you'll want to do so that guy is always there, even when you close it out, so that you don't have to go through the Windows search thing every time. Okay, just a little helpful hint because it's just so much easier that way. All right, so here is the mainframe. Here is what it looks like when you open it up. Not sure why I used mainframe right there, but anyway, this is the page that it looks like when you open up P6. Now, a couple of things. I'm always like, I want to slide this down just a little bit. So you've got three parts to this screen. Over on the left, you kind of have your layout. These are all the different jobs that are actually already loaded on P6, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And this is where new jobs will be, or new projects, or however you want to define that. Over to the right is actually going to be the calendar, which is going to show up the bars in the bar chart area, and you'll see this here in a minute. And then the bottom is just a way for us to detail some things, okay? And all this stuff I'll be going through just to kind of step by step to make sure we're on the same page. So just for starters, this is Professional 21 P6, which hopefully that's what you have loaded. Up at the top you have File, Edit, View, Enterprise Tools. You notice Project is grayed out. Okay, I can't, if I click on it, nothing happens. So we're going to have to actually click on Enterprise here in just a minute and do some stuff. But before that, I just kind of want to run over a few more things. Up at the top, you have a print icon. You got some standard things like that. If you want to go back and forth between Gantt chart and I'm trying to think what the other one is off the top of my head. I guess it's network maybe, or the chart view. You can just toggle those back and forth up here. And again, once I actually have a schedule in here, we'll be able to do that. And then there's some other stuff, and I'm just going to be honest, I'm not going to take time doing it because we don't have a schedule. It just kind of makes sense when we have something there. So what I want to do is create a folder that I can kind of keep my stuff in. You'll notice there's all kinds of stuff that's already there. Why it's already there? Just to be right straightforward with you, I have no idea. So I like to minimize it because it's just, I don't know. I guess Oracle put it there as maybe templates or just sample activities. I don't care anything about it, so I'm just going to minimize so that everything is sort of out of the way. Okay. So what I am going to do is I'm going to create a folder here that I can like work in and put my work in and kind of keep things organized. Okay. So underneath Enterprise, I've got E&C, Engineering and Construction. Since we're kind of construction based on this, we're going to look at the E&C. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Enterprise. I'm going to click on Enterprise Project Structure. Okay. That's going to open up a dialog box, and you'll notice all these little pyramid looking diamond shapes that are here. Okay. These are pretty much all the stuff we just closed out. You got energy, manufacturing, production development, energy, manufacturing, production development, corporate, IT, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize this so it looks kind of like what I'm looking at here. All right, so what we want to do is I'm going to click on Enterprise over here, and I'm going to click on Add. Okay, and so what this is, I'm just going to type in a word, scheduling. Tell you what, I'm going to do it in capital letters. Scheduling. Okay. And then the scheduling name, I'm just going to put schedules. How about that? Or schedule projects. These are even a better one. Scheduling projects. Okay. So once that's there, I'm good with that. I'm just going to hit, because you'll notice it's over here already. Tell you what, before I do that, I'm going to just kind of click off this just to kind of approve the schedule projects. And then I'm going to highlight it again. Okay, click back on it so it's blue. And then you see these little black arrows here. I actually want to like move this thing up to the front of the class. Mainly because I want this to be at the top so I can see it every time. All right, and then all I'm going to do is hit close. So now I'm going to minimize that one too. And now the very top one up there is my scheduling projects. Okay, so what I want to do underneath scheduling, as long as it's highlighted, I can come over here and hit the little plus over on the far right. You'll see this row, everything is grayed out, and that's because we're not in a project right now or anything. And then of course you got the X, which is delete. We don't want to do that. So I'm going to hit the plus. And when I do that, it's going to create a folder underneath this scheduling enterprise that I did. And it's going to put, basically default as new project. Okay, so we want to change that. So it says select EPS, select the enterprise project structure level, scheduling projects. That's fine because that's where I want it to be. Hit next. Now we want to switch the name. Okay, I'm going to say, I don't know. Let's just say beginning schedule. How about that? Project name, we're going to call it test 1. Okay. Project, then I'm hitting next on all this, by the way. So now it says project start and end dates. Well, just depending on when you're watching this video, obviously this may be dated, but let's just say I want to start this on Monday, February 28th. Okay, and I'm going to hit select. Must finish by, I'm going to leave that open. Okay, some projects have a drop dead finish date. Some projects just do the start date. Okay, it just depends on what you're actually using. And then I'm going to hit next. All this is fine. I'm actually just going to hit finish at this point. Okay, so now I've got this thing over here. It says beginning schedule and test 1. So now that we have that, we can go up and actually start putting some activities in. Okay, so you'll notice now earlier Bremer project was grayed out and now it is not. Okay, so if I click on project, there's a couple things you can do. You can do activities, resource assignments, or WBS. WBS is work breakdown structure. And that is a way you can organize activities inside your schedule. We're not going to cover that right now, but maybe later we can do something with that. But so all I want to do is click on activities because we want to sort of start that process. Now, when you click on activities, you'll notice up at the top you got a couple of tabs. it added activities. Okay, if I click on projects, it's going to bring me back to this page where, we entered in this information. But now I want to do activities. So see, here's all these folders, and then you see beginning schedule test 1. I'll click on activities. Now it says beginning schedule test 1. So now it's, laying everything out for me. I can move this to, show more or less of the words, that, whatever you want to do with that. But anyway, so what we want to do is actually put some activities down. Okay, so I'm going to hit over on the far right here the little plus sign again, kind of like what we did when we added the actual activity folder. Now, or the project folder. Now we're going to do that to add activities. So I'm going to hit plus, and now it says A1000 new activity, and immediately this little dialog box pops open. Okay. Inside the dialog box, you have activity ID A1000, activity name, new activity. So I'm just going to say NTP, which is notice to proceed. Now, leave it at 4-digit numbers. That's the best way of doing this, and I'll show you why here in a minute. So we're just going to leave it A1000. I'm going to do NTP, which is notice to proceed. Okay, so it's like a moment in time. This is great because I can turn this into a milestone. I'll show you that. So now I can hit next if I want to, but all this stuff is it's really not needed. Like when I get to activity type, this one I will change to a start milestone, but everything else we do will be a task dependent, so kind of the default. So really when you get done typing the activity, you can hit finish, okay, and it'll go. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that and show you how I can go back and change the activity type. Okay, so right now, like I said, I really want it to be finished milestone. I'm going to leave it as task dependent, and I'll show you how to fix that in a minute. So now I'm just going to go through this. I don't really need all this stuff, but this is where you can add in things like high labor units, high non-labor. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff. Yes, I would like to configure relationships now. Actually, no, not right now. Anyway, so then hit finish, and then all it did is it added it. Okay, now a notice to proceed is a milestone because it is a piece of paper. It is a moment in time. Okay, it is like the owner says, okay, we're ready for you to start building. We're going to give you the notice to proceed to the GC and say you may start building. It's kind of like the approval, right? Because as a general contractor, you're not just going to be like, oh, I'm just going to start building whenever I want. No, you got to wait for that. Okay, so it's either email, fax, who knows, Pony Express, however they get it to you. It's a notice to proceed. It is a milestone. It is not hours long. It is not days long. It is a moment in time. So we want to change that notice to proceed to an actual milestone. So since it's highlighted, I can come right down here to task dependent, and I can click on start milestone, and it'll turn it to a little diamond, which is just a moment in time. So next activity, I'm going to click plus. This one now, you see where it automatically numbers at 1010. Okay, so it's giving me essentially like 9 spots in between each of these, right? A1001 through A1009. Okay, so 9 possible spots. Whereas, down the road, if I'm like, oh crap, I need to add some kind of activity between these two, I've got 9 spots to do it in. Okay, so it just kind of buys you a little buffer there for that. So just, these numbers don't, they could mean something really important, but at the end of the day, they're just numbers. They're just ways of creating an ID for each activity. Okay, so you got A1010, new activity. I'm just going to put SOG, which is slab on grade. And again, I'm just going to hit finish because I don't need to do anything else with it. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to hit plus again. New activity. Oh, this one's A1020. Perfect. That's what I want. New activity. I don't know. Let's just keep these all real simple. I'm just going to call it, well, maybe I better do foundation. No, we already had that. Yeah, framing. Let's just leave it there. Go with your gut. And I'm just going to hit finish. Okay. Now, a couple things you can change in the box, or you can just come up and change this, is the duration. Okay, slab on grade, let's just say that's going to take, 4 days. Let's just change that to 4. Framing, depending on the help and COVID and who knows what else, right? We can add that. And that's another thing. Just kind of chasing a rabbit down a hole for a second. Back in the day, you had to worry about loss of rain days, had to worry about, delivery issues and, maybe not quite so much, but long lead time items, that kind of thing. Nowadays, it's like, there could be jobs that could have, 50 people that are positive with COVID and they're sitting at home. Well, it's kind of hard to get stuff done if they're sitting at home on a quarantine. And then with shipping and, half of the material maybe sitting on a boat out in the water somewhere, and we're just having a hard time with, delivery and, getting materials in and all that stuff. So, there's just a lot of other things that can happen. So scheduling can definitely be interesting nowadays. Okay, so after framing, I'm just going to say rough ends, I'm going to hit cancel. Let me try that again. I need to go to activity name, not activity number. Rough ends. I'm going to leave that at 5. And then let's just call this one, let's see, rough ends. Let's just call it finish trim. Hit finish. Plus another one. Let's just call this exterior trim. How about that? And then I'm just going to put a few of these down, just mainly so you can get the idea. Let's just say paint. You notice everything is right in a row here. We're going to change that in just a minute. Let's see, paint. I'm just going to say landscaping. Keep that there. I'm going to do one more, and we're going to call this punch list. Okay, so this is just to give you an idea of what's going on. Now I'm going to go back through here, finish trim. I don't know. Let's just say 7 for that. Paint might only be 3 days. Landscaping, I don't know. Let's just do 8. Punch list, I'm going to leave that at 5. Okay, so now we've got this schedule over to the right, and all there are these little boxes all in a row. Okay, there's no relationships at all. One thing I'm looking at too is this calendar up on the top is set for like quarters. Okay, so we don't want that. I'm going to right click up on it. I'm going to hit time scale, and down here I've got some options. It says show primary dates, type calendar, date interval. It says quarter month. I don't want quarter month. You can go all the way down to days and hours if you wanted to. Let's see. I think I'm just going to say week, day 1 kind of thing, and see, or month and week maybe. Let's see what that does. Yeah, I like that. Actually, no, I don't. That's just showing the week. Okay, so I'm going to right click again. I'm going to change that to, I want week. Oh, I can move this. There we go. I'm just going to say week, day 1. What does that look like? Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. Okay, so now on my screen, you'll see how it's kind of really compressed in these 2 months right here. So I can come up here and see where that hourglass shows up. You can click, hold, and then stretch, like drag to the left or the right, all while holding your mouse button down. And I can stretch the schedule out, however I want it. And I'm just going to be honest with you, it's easier to stretch it out just a little bit to make these relationships. Now, let's see here. So what we want to do is put these relationships in, okay? So notice to proceed. Once that starts, I can do my slab on grade. Okay, a couple of ways of doing relationships. For me, personally, the easiest way is to come up here. Let's see if I can't somehow make this schedule bigger, because I want you to be able to see this. I just clicked on the wrong thing. There it is. Let's see. Can I zoom that? Nope. When I zoom it, it does that weird thing. Okay. Well, you'll have to just watch what I'm doing. All right, so behind notice to proceed, if I move my mouse over, you notice there's like a bazillion different little arrows and stuff that's pulling up. You'll see one that's got this black kind of dagger looking arrow on it. Okay, I'm going to click, hold, and now I'm going to pull. And when I pull to these other activities, see how that blue arrow pops up? I just want to go to that first one, slab on grade. Okay, and now it disappeared for some reason. So I'm going to hit schedule all. Let's see. One of these. Will let you see relationships. Let's see. Where is it? Relationship lines. Maybe I didn't do one. Oh, I know it's notice to proceed. Okay, so after slab on grade, I can start framing. So I'm going to put that there. Then after framing, I can start rough ends. I'm just going to do this real simple. After rough ends, I can do finish. Now, notice how nothing's moving. I can go up to this little clock up here and see where it says schedule. I can click on that, and then I'm just going to come over here to the right menu area, and I'm going to hit schedule, and it will schedule it out. So now it's saying, okay, when slab and grade is done, then framing can start. When framing is done, roughing can start. Roughing is done. Y'all see what's going on? Then you'll notice up at the top, we got this black bar going all the way across. Okay, if we follow that over, the duration of this job right now is 26 days. Okay, so that's sort of like your project management. Remember, that's like a start to start and then finish to finish kind of activity. So there's that. Now, let's say I want finish trim to follow exterior trim. Okay, I can click on finish trim, and I can come down here to the bottom. You got general, you got status, resources, and then you've got these two at the end, predecessors and successors. Okay, so successors means what comes after it. Predecessors means what comes before it. So when I click on predecessors, it shows rough ends. So it's saying rough ends comes before finish trim. Cool, huh? So now I can type in successors. Okay, well, which one do I want? Well, I'm going to assign one, and I want, exterior trim to come after that. So I'm going to hit, double click it, and you notice how it pops it up. It automatically kind of did that for me. And see how it's over here? Isn't that cool? So now I can go, let's see, I can go down one. I just hit the down arrow. So now I'm on exterior trim. My successor for exterior trim, okay, I'm going to click on assign, is going to be paint. So I'm going to double click on, see, I did two there. That's okay. I double click on paint and hit X. Now you'll notice there's two. Okay, so I don't want landscaping, so I'm going to hit remove. And are you sure you want to remove it? Yes, I do. Okay, so now paint is next. So now I can hit the schedule, hit schedule again, and it'll pop this up here. Okay, so you can either do it by getting a little black jagged down arrow, click, hold down the left button, come over and stick it behind on the front of landscaping. See how it, once I mouse over the front of landscaping, it puts that blue arrow, and then just let go. Okay, or there again, you can come down here to predecessors and successors and do it that way. I'll be honest, I like doing it this way. Now, when you get a bunch of activities, it's going to be complicated. You're going to have to really pay attention to what you're hitting, and you may have to go back to predecessors and successors to see if there's an error. Like you might have accidentally made a relationship, kind of like what I did just a minute ago. So a couple different things there you may have to do. I'm going to move that in there, and then at the end, I'm going to hit schedule again. And now, let's see, let me move this arrow over. Now my schedule is opened up a little bit. So now my duration is 47 days. Now, let's just say finish trim and rough ends. Let's do a kind of like a lag in between those. Because I'm basically saying that rough ends and finish trim can start, but finish trim needs to give rough ends 5 or 6 days or something before they can actually start. And and get going. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to change that that time on this. So exterior trim, I want that to be a different relationship. So I'm going to click on exterior trim, and down here it says it's oh wait, not exterior trim, finish trim. So finish trim has a finish to start relationship with exterior trim. I want it to be a different relationship. So down here at the bottom, I can click on relationships and say start to start with a lag of, let's just say 5 days. And then I'm going to kind of hit enter on that. Now, it didn't really change anything, but it shows it here. So now I can hit schedule, and it's going to schedule again, and now it's bumping it down here. Now, I still want the paint to start after the finish trim and after exterior trim. So what I'm going to do is pull a relationship now over here to paint. Hit schedule now, and not that it's really going to change, but there's that. So now you can kind of see how that arrow comes off the front of finish trim to the front of exterior trim. And you can see how they're kind of both going at the same time, where all these other activities are right one behind each other. Okay. So anyway, that's just a real quick and easy show of this. I'll have some other videos that kind of help with that as well, but there it is. So what we did is we created that one folder of scheduling, which is kind of your enterprise, and then we created the beginning folder, which is this one. And then, you know, like if I'm wanting to create another folder, I can come over here and say, hit pause, or hit the plus sign. This one is, we want it under schedule project, so that's good. This one I could put, I don't know, let's just say mod 1-5. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to call it the same thing because who cares? Mod 1-5, and then hit next. Start by, I'm going to switch it to the 28, select, and then hit finish. And bazam, it pops it down here. Okay. So now I got two of them, but if I hit activities, see, it's just showing this one. But now I can come down here to mod 5, click on it, hit the plus sign, and now I've got activities down here, and bam, I'm starting another project. Okay. So anyway, just some ideas there of what you can do with that. So if you have any questions, let me know. But I hope this helped in kind of giving you just a little bit of introductory on P6. And like I said, I'll try to do some more videos here soon, and maybe give you some more help here and that kind of thing, and maybe detailing some of the activities and the lag and the relationships, just because that's something, you know, everybody works with. So, alrighty, if you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, enjoy the video.